Through hard experience that around about 1,000 litres or 250 gallon systems is about as small as you can go to really have a stable system. So whilst it's a good idea to start with this bathtub system, be prepared to have some failures if everything is not just absolutely right. And I really need to say that the cost of good infrastructure cannot be overlooked. Let's do a recap of what we've learned in this video. The first thing I hope we've established with you is that aquaponics is really easy. You just have to follow a few basic rules, use a bit of common sense, and you can have a very successful aquaponics system. The first thing I just want to recap is ratio. A lot of people ask questions about that. Remember, the ratio, the safe ratio for a home system is 1:1 by volume. So 1 volume of fish tank to 1 volume of grow bed. And remember, the ideal depth for a grow bed is 300mm or 1 foot. You could have shallower than that if you want to, remember we talked about that, but you'll get best results with a 1 foot or 300mm deep grow bed. So the ratio is 1:1 of water to grow bed. How many fish can I have? Well, once again, a safe ratio for home is 1 fish per 10 litres of water, or 1 fish for every 2.5 gallons of water. And that is based on the assumption that the fish are not all going to grow at the same rate and wind up as fully mature fish all at the same time. Remember, if in doubt, cut the volume of fish down just a little bit. You can always add more fish later. The other thing is volume of water, overall volume of water. The smaller the system and the less water you have in the system, the more prone the system is to instability. And we have found in our experimenting with different size systems that 1,000 litres or about 250 gallons is really about the minimum size system you can have and expect to have some stability. You can go smaller if you want to, but expect instability, expect big pH swings and temperature swings. What veggies can I grow in the system? Well, you can grow pretty much anything that grows above the ground, and you can grow some root crops too. But any kind of salad veggie or stuff that grows above the ground, tomatoes, corn, lettuce, all sorts of greenery can be successfully grown in an aquaponics system. All sorts of herbs. I have seen people with really wonderful herb gardens grown in an aquaponics system. What fish can I grow? Well, once again, we've covered the Australian natives with jade perch, silver perch, barramundi, Murray cod, sleepy cod, and of course for the Americas and for Europe, there's some perches that are really good, and tilapia is really the big one that people grow very successfully all over the world. I feed my fish. Remember, we've covered that. There are various ways. We could be lazy and use commercially available pellets, but if we want to avoid that, we can have a worm farm, we can have a black fly larvae farm, we can feed our fish lettuce and other such things as that. We can have a light above our tank and have insects fall into it. There's all sorts of ways we can be economical and give our fish a good wide variety of diet. And how do I cycle my system? It's only really a problem for the first 6 or 8 weeks, remember, in the early stages of the system. What I would always recommend people to do, first thing you do, set up your system, get everything cycling, your pumps are all working, everything's going great. Plant your plants, put the plants in, get them going. Keep your plants going with some sea salt, some seaweed extract to get the plants going. Then add your fish. And remember, as soon as you put the fish in and you start feeding, there's a possibility of an ammonia spike while the good bacteria sets up in your tanks and wells. What you need to do is, if you have an ammonia spike, change some water out, a 1/3 water change. And remember the slogan, when in doubt, change the water out. And the last thing, but not least of all, is bon appetit. Remember, have fun. You're growing good, clean, wholesome food for you and your family. And you can do it at home at your place. Excuse me, if you don't mind. I want to eat now. Thank you. This is just terrific.